Imagine a secret recording, an audio file surfacing online claiming to capture former President Donald Trump discussing the explosive topic of China and Taiwan. What if this leak revealed raw, unscripted dialogue exposing the true intentions of a world leader? Could a few minutes of audio reshape the calculations of superpowers, or even push nations closer to conflict? The mystery isn't just about what's said, but who recorded it, who released it, and why. In a world flooded with information and disinformation, some things demand our attention. This alleged leak is one of them. We'll break down the claims, the reactions, and the global consequences. But first, was the voice on that recording really Donald Trump or a sophisticated fake? Let's find out. The heart of the storm, what exactly is it? What are we dealing with here? At its core, it's a 10-minute audio file. A seemingly innocuous piece of digital data, but one that carries immense weight. This audio file first surfaced in the murkiest corners of the internet, appearing on obscure messaging apps favored by those seeking anonymity. From these shadowy origins, it exploded onto mainstream social media, carried by the winds of shares, likes, and retweets. It quickly became a global phenomenon. The recording itself is far from pristine, its low quality muffled, making it difficult to decipher every word. The audio has an illicit feel, like it was captured surreptitiously, perhaps by a hidden device, adding to the intrigue and suspicion surrounding its contents. The recording purports to feature Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago, his exclusive resort in Palm Beach, Florida. Within the audio, a voice, allegedly Trump's, engages in a meandering but pointed discussion. The central topic, China's ambitions toward Taiwan and the escalating tensions in the region. The voice, uncensored and bold, speculates about hypothetical U.S. responses to potential Chinese aggression, outlining possible military and diplomatic strategies. The speaker delivers what some interpret as a private back-channel warning directly to Beijing, a message seemingly intended to deter further escalation. Lacking official confirmation and presented without context, the leak becomes a Rorschach test for intelligence analysts and governments around the world. Each entity interprets the audio through its own lens. With its own biases and agendas, everyone sees what they want to see, or perhaps what they fear. The file's many names circulating across the internet: the Mar-a-Lago warning, a title that evokes images of secrecy and potential danger, and the Taiwan tape, a name that hints at the geopolitical implications, fuel its mythos, adding layers of intrigue and speculation. Its rapid journey from the internet's shadows, from the dark corners of the web where anonymity reigns, to global headlines splashed across newspapers and broadcast on television screens worldwide, shows how a single, unverified audio file, regardless of its authenticity, can spark worldwide debate and influence international relations. This is information warfare, a battle fought not with bullets and bombs, but with data and narratives. In this new reality, perception is as powerful as fact, and the ability to shape the narrative is the ultimate weapon. Who leaked the audio? The answer remains a mystery. It wasn't WikiLeaks or any known whistleblower, just an anonymous account, created and deleted within hours, dropping the file and vanishing. Three main theories dominate: a disgruntled insider, a foreign intelligence agency, or a politically motivated activist group. An insider leak would mean betrayal at the heart of Trump's circle. A foreign agency, China, Russia, or another power, could use the leak to destabilize U.S. policy. Or perhaps it's a non-state group using digital tools to force policy change from the outside. The anonymity ensures we may never know the truth. The source's motives, personal, political, or strategic, remain as murky as the recording itself. The real story may be the uncertainty it creates. The most explosive part of the recording, the section that has sent ripples through international circles, is a supposed private warning delivered to Beijing. This wasn't a formal declaration or an official statement, but rather a message delivered through an unnamed intermediary, a shadowy figure navigating the complex world of international relations. The identity of this individual remains shrouded in mystery, adding another layer of intrigue to the situation. The core of the message was stark and direct. Any Chinese move on Taiwan, any attempt to alter the status quo by force, would trigger unprecedented U.S. economic retaliation, a response far beyond the typical diplomatic measures. This wasn't just about sanctions, but a threat of total decoupling, a complete severing of economic ties. The language used is reminiscent of pure Trump, informal, hyperbolic, and undeniably direct. It carries the hallmarks of his characteristic communication style. The focus is heavily on economic leverage, using financial power as the primary tool of influence. Noticeably absent is any talk of military action, no threats of armed conflict or direct intervention. Instead, the warning centers on threats to turn off the spigot, to cut off the flow of resources and trade. The aim is to cripple China's supply chains, disrupting its manufacturing capabilities and impacting its economic stability. This back-channel approach bypasses official diplomatic protocols, circumventing established lines of communication. This introduces a significant element of unpredictability into US-China relations, making it harder to anticipate future actions. The lack of names, dates, or verifiable details surrounding this alleged warning makes the claim impossible to confirm or refute with any degree of certainty. We are left with speculation and conjecture. It's a classic disinformation tactic, a strategy often employed to sow confusion and uncertainty. The narrative is plausible, it sounds like something that could happen, but it remains stubbornly unverifiable. The story's power lies not in concrete facts, but in its ambiguity, in the questions it raises and the doubts it casts. The world is left to wonder, to speculate on the true nature of this alleged warning and its potential implications. Was this a real warning, a genuine attempt to deter aggression, or simply a masterful bluff, a calculated move in a high-stakes game of international poker? The leak's arrival triggered instant polarization in the US. Trump supporters called it a fake or proof of his strength. Critics saw recklessness and danger. The debate became less about the content, more about what it said about Trump's leadership. Internationally, reactions were cautious. Taiwan stayed silent, but likely debated the risks. Beijing dismissed the tape as malicious gossip. Behind closed doors, intelligence agencies scrambled to assess the recording's authenticity and implications. The ambiguity was the most dangerous part. No one knew if it was a real threat or a provocation. The leak forced every player to reconsider their assumptions. Even a fake, it had real-world consequences. The leak, like a stone dropped into a still pond, subtly but powerfully shifted the global chessboard. The ripples are spreading, impacting alliances and strategies across the world stage. This wasn't just a minor tremor, it was a seismic event in the realm of international relations. US allies in Asia, long considered cornerstones of American foreign policy in the region, dependent on American security guarantees, now faced new uncertainty. Was private policy diverging from public statements? The question hung heavy in the air, casting a shadow of doubt over established partnerships. These nations, vital to regional stability, were left to reassess their positions and ponder the implications of the leaked information. China, already distrustful of the United States and its intentions, saw more evidence of American unpredictability, further fueling its narrative of a declining superpower. This perception, whether accurate or not, has significant consequences for global power dynamics, possibly accelerating its own plans for self-reliance and solidifying its position as a global counterweight. The leak may inadvertently be strengthening China's resolve to pursue its own agenda, independent of Western influence. The presidency itself was affected. A former leader's words, even in private, can disrupt official policy and undermine the current administration's efforts to build trust and maintain stability. The past has a way of resurfacing, especially in the digital age, and force the current administration into awkward choices, forcing them to defend or distance themselves from statements made in a different era. The fallout requires careful navigation and strategic communication. Diplomacy may become even more secretive, shrouded in even more layers of confidentiality, as leaders fear leaks and surveillance, leading to increased paranoia and a chilling effect on open communication. Honest off-the-record discussions could become rarer, replaced by carefully crafted statements designed for public consumption. Replaced by guarded, less productive exchanges, hindering the ability to build genuine rapport and find common ground. The fear of leaks could drive sensitive talks further underground, into increasingly secure and isolated environments, making global politics less transparent and potentially more susceptible to manipulation and misinterpretation. The world's leaders are now on notice. Nothing said in private is truly safe, and every conversation carries the risk of becoming public knowledge. The rules of diplomacy are changing, ushering in an era of heightened vigilance and increased uncertainty. The leak injected radical uncertainty into the US-China-Taiwan triangle. For decades, strategic ambiguity kept all sides guessing. Would the US defend Taiwan or not? The recording's blunt economic threat shattered that ambiguity, replacing it with confusion. Beijing might see the warning as a bluff. Taiwan might see it as a green light. The precedent of freelance diplomacy by ex-leaders or private citizens destabilizes the global order. Now multiple voices can claim to speak for a nation, muddying alliances and emboldening adversaries. The real legacy of the leak may be the dawn of an era where information warfare shapes geopolitics as much as armies do. In the future, the first shots may be fired in the digital realm, not on the battlefield. So was the voice on the tape really Trump? After weeks of forensic analysis, experts agree. The recording is not a deep fake, but it's not Trump either. The voice is human, not AI generated, but belongs to a highly skilled impersonator. This was a performance meticulously crafted to mimic Trump's speech, vocabulary, and style. The leak wasn't whistleblowing, it was a sophisticated act of disinformation. By using a real impersonator, the creators bypassed deepfake detection and maximized confusion. The goal, to create a fake reality, knowing the damage would be done before the truth emerged. The leak was a weapon, its target, the very idea of truth. In the end, the recording was a masterclass in perception hacking. The revelation of the fake doesn't erase its impact. The world saw how a convincing impersonation could destabilize politics and spark global alarm. Investigators now hunt for the creators, likely a state-backed operation, not amateurs. Attribution could trigger sanctions, expulsions, or worse. This incident will accelerate the race for better media authentication, digital watermarks, blockchain verification, AI detection. As detection improves, so will the fakes. For all of us, the lesson is clear. Skepticism and critical thinking are essential. Disinformation is now a frontline threat. The whispers in the wires will only grow louder. Our ability to separate truth from fiction will shape the future of global stability. Don't miss out on future explorations and discoveries. Hit subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated with our new content. Your journey of wonder continues with every video. Stay connected and engaged on social media. Continue the conversation, follow us. Thank you for being a part of the Have You Ever Wondered community. Keep wondering, keep discovering. Until next time.